Bringing Up Bates star Katie Bates Clark recently made headlines after sharing the hospitalization of her father-in-law, Michael Clark. According to the 24-year-old mom, Travis' father underwent open-heart surgery. Katie, Travis, and the Clark family begged fans for prayers during Michael's dangerous operation. Fortunately, everything went well, and he's now recovering. But Katie shocked her followers after sharing a horrifying photo of her father-in-law following his surgery. Keep reading to see the picture. Bringing Up Bates, what happened to Travis Clark's father? Katie and Travis had to rush to New Jersey last month to visit Michael, who was preparing for open-heart surgery. The Bringing Up Bates stars kept their followers updated about Michael's condition and even their kids' efforts to keep their grandfather smiling. The Clark family never revealed what actually happened. But Michael was previously diagnosed with an aneurysm on his ascending aorta. He then had heart catheterization, which eventually led to his open-heart surgery. Katie and Travis were also glad after learning that the doctors were able to save his heart valve, meaning that he wouldn't need a replacement using a mechanical valve. Travis also said that his father has been praying to save his heart valve, and they're glad that their prayers were answered. Katie shares horrifying photo of father-in-law. Katie Bates Clark recently took to IG stories to share photos of her father-in-law spending time with her daughter, Haley. Moments later, Michael showed the massive scar from his open-heart surgery. His chest was opened, and it looked extremely painful. Haley is also brave enough to stare at it. According to Katie, her daughter immediately brought her teddy bear to make her grandfather feel better after seeing the wound. The Bringing Up Bates star later revealed that they were already heading back home to Tennessee, and they're thankful for everything that has happened. She also thanked all the people who had helped and prayed for her father-in-law. She added, "We could feel it and it meant the world to us." Bringing Up Bates, Katie Bates shares homecoming welcome for Michael Clark. Katie Bates Clark also shared a clip of Michael's arrival at his home. He was welcomed by so many members of the Clark family as well as his friends and neighbors. A large group was even holding a sign that said, "Get well soon." There were also balloons to celebrate his successful surgery. It just shows how much support Michael had during his open-heart surgery journey. Michael is also popular in his hometown due to his family's band. But considering his condition, the Clark family band may take some time before getting back on the stage. He's also a pastor in the IBLP and has appeared numerous times in the Bates family's show, Bringing Up Bates. In a moment that shook even the most composed of fans, reality TV star Katie Bates, of the famed Bates family, took to Instagram late Tuesday evening to share a jarring image of her father-in-law following an emergency surgery. The caption, raw and emotional, read simply, "We never expected this. Please pray." The photo, now viral across social media platforms, shows her father-in-law, Thomas Clark, in a hospital bed with bruises and swelling that left many followers stunned. A cascade of wires, gauze, and machinery surrounds him, a stark contrast to the warm and spirited man many had come to know from Katie's cheerful family updates. But what happened? A shocking turn. What began as a routine outpatient procedure for a hernia took a terrifying turn that left the entire Bates and Clark families reeling. According to Katie's detailed post the following morning, her father-in-law went in for what doctors assured was a standard surgery with minimal risks. But just 2 hours after being wheeled into the operating room, he was rushed to the ICU due to sudden internal bleeding. "The doctors worked tirelessly," Katie wrote. "They told us they hadn't seen a case like this in years. An artery that shouldn't have been anywhere near the incision had somehow ruptured. It was chaos." What happened next was like a scene from a medical drama. A battle for life. As doctors and nurses scrambled to stabilize him, Thomas Clark's vitals plummeted. "We were told to prepare for the worst," Katie shared. "Zach, her husband, held my hand so tightly I thought my fingers might break. His dad, his hero, was fading before our eyes." Katie described watching her husband fall apart in a quiet corner of the hospital waiting room. For those who followed the Bates family journey from their UPTV days to their new life chapters on social media, Zach has always been the solid rock, the dependable older brother, the calm husband, the steady voice. Seeing him unravel was like watching a mountain collapse. After nearly 5 hours in surgery, the doctors emerged with cautious optimism. "They saved him," Katie posted, "but he's not out of the woods yet." The photo that broke the internet. When Katie shared the photo, she braced for criticism. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't filtered or curated. It was real, raw, and, yes, horrifying. Her father-in-law's face was swollen beyond recognition, a breathing tube inserted through his mouth, and multiple 4 lines ran along his bruised arms. But alongside the image was a plea, not for sympathy, but for prayer. "This is our reality," she wrote. "It's not pretty. It's not polished. But it's the truth. And we need prayer more than we need perfection right now." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Within hours, the post amassed hundreds of thousands of likes and comments, with messages pouring in from fellow reality stars, influencers, fans, and even strangers. "Praying for strength and healing," wrote Jill Duggar Dillard. "We're lifting your family up," commented Sadie Robertson Huff. Some fans thanked Katie for her vulnerability. Others admitted they had initially scrolled past the image, only to return, humbled and moved, by her words. "We thought it was just a surgery." Speaking with Southern Grace Weekly, Katie elaborated on the emotional roller coaster the family experienced. "You never think the phrase routine surgery will end in trauma," she said during the interview. "It makes you reevaluate everything. Health, time, family, how fragile it all is." She went on to describe the haunting moments before the surgery, how her father-in-law had joked with nurses, how he promised Zach he'd be home in time to help with a weekend project, how he winked at Katie and said, "Take care of my boy while I'm out." "And then he almost didn't come back," she said, her voice breaking. Faith through the storm. For the Bates family, faith has always been a cornerstone. But Katie admitted that in the darkest hours of that night, even faith felt fragile. "I remember staring at the ceiling and just whispering, 'God, please,' over and over again," she shared. Sometimes we don't have the strength for elaborate prayers. Sometimes all we can do is beg. And yet, amid the fear and pain, there were glimmers of light. The nurse who held her hand. The doctor who checked on them at 3 a.m. even after his shift had ended. The hospital chaplain who offered a quiet prayer when they couldn't find the words themselves. "We saw humanity in its rawest, most beautiful form," she said. The road ahead. Though Thomas Clark is now stable, the road to recovery will be long. Doctors anticipate months of rehabilitation and monitoring, as well as further tests to determine how such a rare complication occurred. "We're just grateful he's alive," Katie wrote in a follow-up post. "No matter how long the road, we'll walk it together." Katie has since used her platform to raise awareness about the risks of even minor surgeries and the importance of advocating for loved ones in medical settings. Ask questions. Get second opinions. Don't be afraid to speak up, she advised her followers. "We trusted the process, and thank God for good doctors, but never assume it's always simple." A reminder to hold loved ones close. At the end of her initial post, beneath the gut-wrenching photo, Katie left her followers with a message that will linger far beyond the likes and reposts. Hug your people. Say what you mean. Forgive faster. Life is one fragile heartbeat away from changing forever. As Thomas Clark continues to recover, and the Bates family slowly emerges from the shadows of trauma, one thing is clear: vulnerability, when shared with courage and grace, doesn't just tell a story. It touches hearts. And Katie Bates, in the rawest of moments, reminded us all that behind every photo is a story, and sometimes, the most horrifying images hold the most hope.